everyone, and welcome back to the Cup of Joe show. I'm Joe. That's Jeremy. I hope everyone had a great Christmas, and, hopefully this is like another Christmas for you. Like, oh my God, they didn't take a week off or anything. Yeah, so we are back. We've got a lot to talk about, let's just get right to it. I saw a movie, so I'm going to review it as quickly as I possibly can. I saw the movie Wild. The Christmas Day movie came down to, the family. It was either going to be Into the Woods or Wild, and we settled on Wild on a 4-1 vote. Jeff ended up picking something really random because he knew his vote didn't matter at that point. So,
what did he vote for? PK?
I forget what it was. I think he was interested in the Bollywood movie, though. So anyway, Wild, starring Reese Witherspoon, and a complete ripoff of Into the Wild. No, I'm just kidding. Wild is actually a true story about Cheryl Strayed. Stray is actually not her real last name. It is the last name that she chose when she strayed. Literally. So she this one. Well, I don't want to say too much because you actually learn about her life as the movie goes on. So it's kind of, she decides to walk this trail that's 1,000 miles. It's the Pacific Crest Trail. It's basically just a big desert trail. Absolutely insane to walk, but people do it apparently. Basically it's a movie where she's walking, and she's struggling because she doesn't really hike, but she feels that she needs to do this. She needs to just kind of accomplish this to get through what she is going through. So it's a very interesting story. It's not a knee slapper, that's for sure. Actually, maybe we'll talk about that in a minute. Because Christmas movies were not happy. Reese Witherspoon puts together a great performance. I don't want to say it's a comeback for her, but I feel like she's kind of been out of it for a little while. And she's always been good in everything, especially Legally Blonde, and Legally Blonde 2.
Red, White, and Blonde.
Exactly. So, she puts together a great performance. She'll probably be nominated for an Oscar. I think she's nominated for a Golden Globe, and she deserves it. It's a very good movie. If you liked Into the Wild, you'll probably like Wild. It actually is a true story, which I didn't know. I didn't know it until the end, and I didn't know what time period it was supposed to be set in. So, like, toward the beginning of the movie, I was just like, well, why wouldn't she just bring her cell phone just in case? And like, there were no cell phones. I think it happened sometime in the 90s. So there were no cell phones.
Well, there were. They were just gigantic and unwieldy, and you obviously wouldn't get a signal out in the desert.
Correct. So anyway, like I was saying, great performance. I don't want to give, like I keep saying, I don't want to give too much away. But like I said, it's not very funny. But it's a very well done, dramatic movie. I think it's a true story, so I don't know, but I think they overdid. She didn't run into as many animals as she did guys that wanted to rape her, and I found that odd. But maybe that actually, if it's a true story, maybe that actually happened. So Yeah, so I thought they overdid the rape thing, but if that actually happened to her, then like I can't down the movie for that, But I felt that she should have run into more exotic animals in the desert. But that's just me.
Like unicorns.
There you go, exactly. So yeah, overall, very good movie. You know, and it's just like I said, Christmas. It was just there were no like fun movies that came out. There were no Christmas movies that came out. It's weird. I think this is like the second straight year that has happened. There's no there was just nothing. I mean, there were like I'm sure Unbroken is a triumphant story. You know, there are stories out there that are triumphant, but there are no like comedies. There's no like there's a musical or two, but yeah, like it's just really weird to me that there's no there's not that like a fun Christmas movie to see, and I find that odd. I don't know. What do you think about
Well,
that?
I think that the studio and people involved were hoping that Night at the Museum could be that movie, but that doesn't qualify as a comedy in my book, and you know I would never take anyone in my family to see it, but it's there.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, so anyway, no fun this Christmas. If you went to see a movie, you probably struggled through it. Not that it's a bad movie, but it's just very dramatic. So, but that's not a bad thing. Um, so let's move on. Let's take it on to the box office. Let's see what some movies did.
All right. Well, last weekend we had three new openers. Well, four, I guess. One was a Bollywood picture that opened in ninth, and that's one of those times where a movie opens in the top 10 and I have no idea what it is. So, but we'll stick to doing the top 5 as we usually do. In fifth was Mockingjay. That was down 38% to 7.9 million. Total of 289.5. I was looking at some stats from last year and what Catching Fire did, and if Mockingjay can follow Catching Fire's pattern, over Christmas and New Year's and all that, it's actually not impossible for it to catch Guardians of the Galaxy. I still think it's unlikely, but it could actually happen. So it could be a race to the finish for the domestic crown this year. But strangely enough, the Hunger Games movies don't seem to do that well, like comparatively speaking, overseas. I don't know if that's the fault of Lionsgate or if like the dystopian story just doesn't appeal to overseas audiences. I'm not sure what it is, but anyway, Slice of Mockingjay is definitely not going to be in the running for biggest movie of the year worldwide. Okay, number 4 was Exodus and Kings. That was down.
What's Exodus and Kings? Is that a new film? Is that the Bollywood film?
I misspoke. I'm sorry. Exodus, Gods and Kings. Okay. And that was down a massive 66% to 8.1 million. Total of 38.9. This movie is like an enormous flop. Like a hilariously huge flop. It's really, really bad. Its production budget is 140 million. So, even its worldwide total is not going to get it to profit. So it's it's a disaster. So, and I feel like it had potential, but what are you gonna do? Number 3 was Annie. That opened to 15.9 million. Especially ahead of Christmas, when a movie like this will do really well. That's really not that bad of an opening, especially since the reviews were not kind. Then again, this is the type of movie where the reviews aren't really going to make much of a difference. So, Annie could probably easily quadruple that opening. I wouldn't be surprised to see it make like 70 million in total, which, for a 65 million budgeted movie is not too shabby. In numbers, I can't talk this morning. In the second spot was Night at the Museum: Secret of the Tomb, that opened to 17.1 million. That's not good at all, and it quite pleases me to see that it didn't open that well. So obviously it's not going to come anywhere even close to the first two in the franchise. Like everything else in theaters right now, especially the openers, it's going to have pretty decent legs just because of the holiday season. But even still, I can't see it getting to 100 million. Our number one movie was The Hobbit: The Battle of the Five Armies. That opened to 54.7 million and 89.1 million since its Wednesday opening. It's really hard to make comparisons on this because the previous two Hobbit movies opened on Fridays, and the original Lord of the Rings trilogy all opened on Wednesdays, but those are all over a decade ago. So, it's not apples to apples here. But that's not bad. Especially after it's Wednesday and Thursday numbers were kind of underwhelming. It rebounded nicely over the weekend, so that's encouraging to see. As I've been saying, should do well over Christmas and the holidays. I don't think there's any chance at all of it catching An Unexpected Journey, but I think there is a chance that Battle of the Five Armies could catch Desolation of Smaug and finish around 260, 270, which might be enough to get it over $1 billion worldwide. I doubt it can catch Transformers worldwide and take the number one title there, but Lord of the Rings movies historically have done very, very well overseas, so there's a chance.
So, in short, the box office, The Hobbit: Battle of the Five Armies is like Legolas running up the falling rocks in CGI. Yep, it's gonna get up there. It's gonna do well. In second place is Secret of the Tomb,
yes,
which went in the tomb. Yeah,
burn.
right. It's a hard knock life for Annie. And you know what? Exodus Gods and Kings should be called Exodus and Kings because that's how awful it's doing. And
there's nothing godly about that.
What else is there?
Mockingjay.
Mockingjay. They can fly backward. No, it's not a Mockingjay. It's another J. What is it?
Mockingbirds.
Mockingbirds. Sorry, yeah. They can fly backward.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that's the box office. So now now let's move on to what movies came out in Christmas.
Okay.
We'll
we've got a lot here.
Yes.
There's some movie called Big Eyes, and
yes.
I have no idea what that is. Do you have any idea what that is?
Yeah, it's a movie with Amy Adams and Christoph Waltz. I don't know if it's I feel like Tim Burton has something to do with it. It's produced or direct. I think it's just produced. But anyway, Amy Adams paints these paintings that have the big eyes are the thing, and Christoph Waltz, I think she's married to Christoph Waltz, and Christoph Waltz sells the paintings as his because a woman can't, he believes a woman can't do it, so she goes along with the lie, and then eventually it's just kind of like, you know what, I want this to be my painting. So that's the basic plot. Good talent, but I don't know. Not really that interesting to me, but I'm sure it's a pretty good film with the talent that is in it.
Okay.
All right.
Good. We also had The Imitation Game expanding into national release. I don't know if we've discussed this at any length so far, since it's been in theaters and limited release for a couple weeks now.
Well, I really like Benedict Cumberbatch, and he'll be nominated for an Oscar for this. Whether he'll win, I don't know. I haven't seen the film yet. I would like to see the film. I'm very interested in the film. I don't know what this is, but anyway, apparently Keira Knightley gave a great performance, which I find hard to believe. It's interesting. It's World War II. Alan Turing, breaking the Enigma code. That's who Benedict Cumberbatch is. He is also gay, and he has to. He's faced with some sort of decision. They find out he's gay, and it's not good at that time. Well, okay, that came off wrong. Being gay, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but like you were persecuted then during that time. Something people saw it as like against the law or something. So anyway, yeah. So it looks like a very good movie. It's definitely going to get a lot of Oscar buzz.
Next on the list, we have The Gambler, and this stars Marky Mark as a gambler, and he gambles.
It's true.
And John Goodman's in it.
Could we actually just move on? That's a perfect description of that.
Well, there are a lot of movies that came out on Christmas, so let's.
What more do you need to know about that movie? Is it?
We also have Into the Woods, which is happening, so...
Is a musical, and Meryl Streep will get nominated for an Oscar.
Naturally.
Yeah, I don't even have to see it. Done.
Okay. Finally, we have Unbroken.
Unbroken actually looks like a very good movie, although it's getting reviews.
But most of the reviews seem to be saying that it's like a, cliche thing, with a lot of the usual things that you'll see in, uplifting films, which means it could actually still be pretty good. Like if the story and everything resonates with you, then even if it's cliche, you're gonna like it.
Right. I think that I think a lot of it's going to depend on Jack O'Connell's performance. If he gives a very strong performance, then I think the movie's going to be good. If he doesn't, it's not going to resonate. So I mean, I think it all really depends on him. And I'm hearing the directions like meh, but I guess that's understandable considering this is Angelina Jolie's first time directing. But I don't know. I haven't seen the film, so I don't know. It's topics that do interest me. World War II. His running. That's very interesting. I always like the sports story of a guy, building to become champion. It looks like he is. It's given away in the trailers. And it's true as well. So, but anyway, I mean, I think that movie looks good. I would have liked to see that yesterday. Not that Wild was a bad film, but that would have been
2 days ago.
That would have been my vote. Yeah, sorry, 2 days ago. So, all right, those are all the movies. I guess we could touch quickly on the interview, which was also released on Christmas, but very limited. I think they're actually showing in Stroudsburg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Absolutely. I can just get on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
For like $6.
Yeah.
Might just do that. Anyway, with all this stuff going on, I don't know. I maybe this is my opinion. Maybe this is me sounding American, but I just feel like we have a right to see this movie. It was made to be released to us. We have a right to see it, and we shouldn't let any hackers' threats, get to us tonight. Because how far is this gonna go? Whenever people don't want to see a movie, they'll just make a threat and we're not going to release it. Like, that's just stupid. Like it's our creative right. Maybe the movie could suck, but it has a right to suck. Come out and suck. It has a right for us to get it and let us tear it apart. That's all.
Yeah, Gomurka, I totally agree. This is kind of the same thing we saw with, some South Park episodes back in the day when they wanted to show the image of the Prophet Muhammad, and Islamic countries did not like that, and Comedy Central backed down. So, I don't know. I guess people in charge don't like freedom.
Right? Seriously. So, that's our thoughts. Hopefully we'll see the interview at some point. But anyway, goodbye.